Hello everyone, this is Salim Bazmi and welcome to Bazmi classes. Today in our next chapter we are going to study about the mollusca. What is mollusca? Mollusca actually it is the second largest phylum. Which one is the first largest phylum? So that is Arthropoda. And after that Arthropoda there is the mollusca. In mollusca first of all we have to look the habitat. What is habitat of the mollusca? It is a terrestrial, aquatic, as well as a in aquatic. It will be a marine as well as a freshwater. What is mean by the marine? Marine means it will be the sea water, and what will be the mean of the freshwater? It means that it may be a river water. Okay. So now, what is the form of the mollusca? The form of the mollusca, first of all, we have to talk about the level of organization. In a level of organization, it will be an organ system. And now symmetry will be bilateral symmetry, means when only one axis will be drawn, then the body will be divided into two half, the left side and the right side. Now germ layer is a triploblastic, coelom it will be a coelomate, and now segmentation, then it will be unsegmented. Why it will be unsegmented? Because there will be a no any division in their body, so that's why it will be unsegmented. And what about the anatomy of this body? So there is a no required to study the anatomy of mollusca in NCERT. Now we are going to talk about the life process. लाइफ प्रोसेस की अगर हम बात करें, सो देयर आर वेरियस टाइप ऑफ लाइफ प्रोसेस. द फर्स्ट सिस्टम इज द डाइजेस्टिव सिस्टम. सो डी फॉर डाइजेस्टिव सिस्टम मीन्स इट विल बी अ कंप्लीट डाइजेस्टिव सिस्टम. इट मीन्स दैट इट विल हैव द माउथ एज वेल एज द एनस. सो बोथ two opening are there present, so that's why it will be a complete digestive system. Now what about the respiratory system? Respiratory system, it will respire, it will exchange the gases by the organ, that is the gills. Now circulatory system is open circulatory system here. Now excretory system, the metanephridia. So metanephridia is not so going to be a much important. Why? Because it is not given in NCERT. Now what about the morphology? If we have to look the body of the mollusca, then suppose we are going to cut this body into in this way. Okay, so now this whole body are covering by the calcareous shell, and the calcareous shell is made up of calcium carbonate. Now अगर ऊपर की तरफ ये लाइनिंग देखा जाए तो ये एक कैलकेरियस शेल है, और कैलकेरियस शेल जो है ये किसका बना है? कैल्शियम कार्बोनेट का बना है. अगर इसकी बॉडी को अगर हम और भी अच्छे से देखें तो हम अगर देखते हैं यहाँ पे, तो ये हमें हेड देखने को मिलता है. देयर विल बी अ हेड एंड इट इज अ टेंटेकल्स, एंड आफ्टर दैट देयर विल बी अ लेयर, सॉफ्ट एंड स्पॉन्जी लेयर ऑफ स्किन that is a mantle. It is known as a mantle. The upper layer will be a soft, and it will be like a spongy, and it will named as a what? Mantle. Okay, now beneath the mantle there will be a small cavity, and this small cavity is known as a mantle cavity. What? This is a mantle cavity, and beneath the mantle cavity there is a hump, that is known as a visceral hump. Because why it is known as a visceral hump? Because digestive system as well as a circulatory system as well as a respiratory system, all these things, all this type of organ will be present in this. That's why it is known as a visceral hump. Now come to this point. Into the heart, into the head there will be a structure, and this structure file like rasping organ for a feeding, and this is known as a radula. What? This is known as a radula. Radula actually it function as a feeding. It work as a feeding. So that's why file like rasping. It is a just file like rasping organ for the feeding. Now come on the reproduction. What about the reproduction of mollusca? So reproduction will be sexual reproduction. Reproduction will be sexual reproduction, and it will be dioecious. What is mean by the dioecious? Dioecious means the female reproductive organ, the male reproductive organ will be on single body, it will be separate, so that's why it is a dioecious. Now what about the development? Development will be indirect. Now we are moving toward the example of the mollusca. So these all are about the mollusca. What mollusca is the second largest phylum. What about the habitat? Habitat terrestrial, aquatic, and in aquatic it will be a marine and a fresh. It could be a marine and fresh. Now form, level of organization is an organ system, symmetry, bilateral symmetry, germ layer, triploblastic, coelom, coelomate, segmentation, unsegmented. Now anatomy, there is no need to study about the anatomy. So life process is a digestive, complete digestive system, respiratory system, gills, by the help of gills, circulatory system, then it will be an open circulatory system, excretory system, metanephridia, it is not going to much important. Okay, now morphology. So there will be a head, tentacles, mantle cavity. This is a mantle cavity between red and green. This space is known as a mantle cavity. Now there will be a visceral hump, it will be like a hump. Okay, so now, and after that it will be covering, it will cover by the calcareous shell, that is known as a this calcareous shell is made up of a calcium carbonate. And now going to talk about the head. So in head there will be an organ that is known as a radula, and this radula file like respiring organ, so it will work, it function as a feeding, for feeding. And now reproduction, sexual reproduction, dioecious, and development will be indirect. So now what about the example of mollusca? Example of mollusca. So we can learn the example of mollusca by a trick that is known as a load. Load. L for loligo. L for loligo. L for loligo. And loligo is commonly known as a squid. What? Squid. And now O for octopus. Octopus. And octopus is commonly known as a devilfish. Devilfish. Clear? Now A for aplysia. Aplysia. And aplysia is commonly known as a sea hare. Sea hare. And now the D is stand for dentalium. What? Dentalium. And dentalium is commonly known as a tusk shell. What? Tusk shell. Tusk shell. Now, what about the other example? So we can say that it is a PSC. So load of PSC, load of PSC. So P, we can here assume P square C means 2 times of P, and P for 1 P for pila, and the pila is also known as a apple snail. What? Apple snail. And P for pink tata, again P for pink tata. Okay, and pink tata is known as a pearl oyster. Pearl oyster. And now C for, or sorry, S for sepia. Sepia. What is mean by sepia? It is known as a cuttlefish. Cuttlefish. And C for Tinopleuria. Keto pleura. Okay, Cutopleura, and is commonly known as a chiton. Chiton. So these all are example of the mollusca. What? Load P square, P load PSC. L for loligo and commonly known as a squid. Octopus commonly known as a devilfish. Aplysia, commonly known as a sea hare. Dentalium, also known as a tusk shell. Pila, apple snail. Pink tata, pearl oyster. Sepia, cuttlefish. And Ketopleura, and it is also known as a chiton. So after the mollusca, there will be a next phylum. So thank you. Thanks a lot.